fishtails all have in common? They're all braids. Basha Bells is the owner of Vivid Salon in Westfield, and she's here to show you how to do them. Basha, great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for
taking a break from the Style Squad, and this is our hair model, Danielle. And we're going to start with showing how to do a fishtail braid. Yes. Is that right? Okay. Yes. So how would you start doing a braid like this?
Well, it depends on how if they have a lot of layers or if they're just one length hair. Fishtail braid generally works best on longer hair, at least mid-length hair.
Okay.
For Danielle, for today, I decided just to make it easier for everyone at home, just put her hair in a ponytail first. A lot of times what I'll even do is start like a French braid and then go right into a fishtail braid.
Okay.
So just for today's purposes, I did a little rubber band and then we're going to go in right from there.
Now I see that you have a clear elastic, so it almost looks invisible. Is that, do you recommend doing that?
I do recommend, and that's something that you can get any beauty supply store. And even when you're done, if you get it tight enough, you can even just cut the rubber band off so that way you don't even have it there.
Oh, with being careful not to cut your hair, obviously. Okay.
Leave it to a professional.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's true. All right, so we're doing the fishtail braid now. How do you start?
You generally actually divide it into two sections.
Okay.
And this, I think, is very easy compared to some of the other braids that are out there. The fishtail braid, you're generally using two sections at all time, and then you're incorporating the end section into the middle. So to begin, you take two sections, and it doesn't matter which side you start on. And sometimes I'm going to use hairspray. Sometimes just to add a little bit of texture to the hair, you can add a little hairspray just so there's a little more hold to it, especially when you have very, very slick hair like Danielle's. So I'm going to go back.
Okay, so you split it into two.
Split into twos. And then you just take one outer piece of each section. It's almost like you're making a third section, and then you're bringing it over to the middle of the next section. So you're still always having two sections, you're just kind of bringing it over to the other side.
Oh, and then you just take a little piece.
The same thing, a little bit from the other side, and we're going to carry it over the other side, so it's still always two. So you don't want to use the whole section, because then you're getting into three big pieces, which would be your regular
braid.
Regular braid.
It's amazing how something can, it looks, when it's done, it looks so cool and intricate, but it really is. I've never learned how to do this before. It really is pretty simple.
So depending on how big your section is, depends on how big the braid is. And a lot of times the trendier style, messy is in. So
that's good.
The messier braid in is actually better. So I can show you how to mess it up a little bit too.
Or maybe you might just, if you're doing it on yourself, just miss a few pieces and that's okay.
That's totally okay.
Okay, so you just continue to do the fishtail all the way down.
Yep.
Now you said that you might do a French braid on top and then go into the fishtail. You could do that.
Yes.
We'll show everyone, Basha, we'll show everyone how to do
a French braid. So I'm going to mess this up in just a minute. Sounds like fun.
Okay. It's so simple.
Yep.
But you also have those long nails to help you with the hair.
That does help, and I actually do have her holding a comb just in case I needed it, but I'm definitely okay without it.
All right, so we're going to come back and finish this up a little later, but now we've learned how to do the fishtail. We have two more to go. Yep. Thanks so much, Basha. Oh, it's so pretty. Welcome back to Mass Appeal. We are going to show you two more different types of braids that you can do on your own hair. And Basha Bells is the owner of Vivid Salon in Westfield, and she's here to show us how. So these are braids that people can do on themselves, and it's great for if you're in a rush or you're having a bad hair day.
Yes.
You can make it a good day.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to do the waterfall now.
First is a waterfall. I'm just going to easily just do it on one side just to kind of demonstrate. You can part the hair wherever you'd like. I have her parted in her natural part. And I have Danielle just tilted to the side a little bit. I like to use a little bit of a hairspray just to kind of also give it a little texture, a little hold while I'm working with the hair.
Makes it a little easier. We're going to turn her just a little bit. Perfect.
And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start as if we're taking a regular French braid. So you take your three sections.
Okay, so back to basics.
Back to basics.
So three separate sections.
Like you normally would. We have our three sections.
Okay.
Then you're going to keep on grabbing from that top section closest to the part where you parted your hair. So I'm taking another section, incorporating it with the section closest to it. And same thing, I'm going to braid that over. And now your last piece that you started with, I'm actually going to let that hang out.
Oh.
So now I'm going to take a new section from the top, and I'm going to incorporate that and braid that in.
Make it look easy, Basha.
I know, I know. So we're just kind of like doing little French braids, but with the end piece, we're leaving it out instead of braiding it in.
That's really neat.
So same thing, right from the part, we're taking another section, we're braiding it in.
And then you leave that out?
And then we leave that out. And then as you do it, you have all these little strands.
Just a little bit, Danielle. Look at
You'll see
that.
all little strands hanging out. Danielle has beautiful blonde hair, so it kind of hides in. But you can kind of see how the strands will
fall right down, like a waterfall.
And then you can
like
incorporate
Niagara
it
Falls.
back, and you can do the
So
whole head that
pretty.
way, or whatever you'd like.
You can do all, like the
You
whole
can,
crown?
Yep, you could do the whole crown.
I love it.
Keep on going, or leave it at that.
That looks really nice. So that's the waterfall braid. And now we've already shown the fishtail earlier, and now you're
Yep.
going to show how to do a French braid.
Yep, this is a classic French braid. I'm going to take this. Same goes, you can keep the part of their part or push it all back. I'm gonna
And you could practice doing this with, if you have any of your kids' dolls at home, you can do it on their hair.
I actually learned on myself, so it doesn't, I mean, as long as you have a little hair to work with, you could do a lot. So same idea as what I just did. I'm going to take it into 3 sections.
So now you pull back the crown.
Yep.
Okay.
And same idea. I'm going to take 3 sections, and I'm overlapping. So 3 sections, one goes into the middle, another one goes into the middle.
And you cross it over.
And you cross it over. So now the trick is grabbing your next section. Like before I was working off of a part, now I'm going to be working off of the sides of the hair. So I'm going to
So you grab a small section on that side?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I'm just combining it to the end section and pushing it right over to the middle.
Okay. So if we were to label these pieces A, B, and C.
We're always having 3 now. Where the fishtail, we always had 2.
Right.
So now I'm taking the next section on the other side of the hair and combining it with section A right here and crossing over to section B.
Over the middle. How you doing, Danielle? You're all right?
You have your,
okay.
you have your end piece now on this side.
Yeah.
It's the same idea. We're taking that piece now from the side, combining it, and you're always overlapping now into the middle.
Aha. It's not easy to do on yourself, but you taught yourself on yourself?
I actually taught myself on myself.
I think doing it on someone else is a little easier, but okay.
And then same thing.
It's good to know how to do this, especially if you know, your alarm clock, you didn't wake up. We've all been there. And you have that panic mode where you're going to be late to work, but you have to have your hair done. Hey, if you ever see me with a French braid, you'll know my secret. I woke up late for work and had to do my hair really quick.
Or hats work good too.
Hats, well, yeah. I don't know if I could wear those on TV. The French braid, though, I could definitely handle that.
So now,
If I can learn how to protect it, or perfect it. Okay.
so now I want to make this a little looser.
Mm-hmm.
Remember saying loose is in now.
Messy and loose, yes.
Messy and loose is in. And I'm going to actually go, since we have a quick minute, right back into that fishtail. So now I'm just going to combine it back into 2.
And you're going to do the fishtail now?
Yep. And I'm just going to,
Oh, this is getting advanced, Basha. This is getting tricky.
so now, same thing, I'm just going right in the ends, bring it forward. Right in the ends, bring it in the middle. Ends, bringing it to the middle.
Very cool. And then you just do that all the way down.
Yep. So more or less, I'm just going to keep on doing that, and then I'm going to fluff it up and use a hair tie and do that. The common trends that you're seeing for people to do in their hair is obviously the fishtail, the French braid, something that I like to say called the castaway, which is kind of like where you take a little bit of hair right in your bangs and you just do a little French braid and then you pin it back off your hair.
I love that look. And can you do that if you don't have long bangs, or?
Yeah, actually,
can do it with
sometimes it's
short bangs?
perfect with short hair. A lot of girls that especially work out, you know, sometimes it's nice to just get that hair off the
Oh,
face.
yes. And you don't want to wear a headband
Yeah.
or a sweatband. I mean, those are cool, but
And then sometimes too,
braid's
just to have
cooler.
a braid to kind of accentuate and just kind of give a little bit of look is in style too. So now I'm kind of fluffing it up. This is what you're going to see in a lot of runway models.
Are you ready to walk the runway, Danielle? You look awesome. And thank you for showing us how to do this, Basha. It looks beautiful.